While reading Sakamoto Days and watching Scissor 7, I noticed that they share a striking premise. The best assassins will leave behind their violent past only to find themselves pulled back into the shadows. This time, however, it's to protect other people. Love also being an incredibly important component despite the heavy themes, both this series use humor and levity to balance the emotional weight of their stories, right? With the Sakamoto Days anime debuting soon and Scissor 7's 5th season wrapping up recently, I feel like now is the perfect time to explore these two incredible series and the powerful themes that they share. This being confronting your past and carving a path towards your future, as well as accepting yourself. So this is going to be spoilers for the Sakamoto Days anime and the manga, as well as the Scissor 7 anime, just a disclaimer. With that said, let's get into what these characters' backgrounds are. Taro Sakamoto was the greatest assassin in the world. When you wanted a job done, you called Sakamoto. He completed almost every mission successfully, assassinating every target he was sent upon. Considered the greatest marksman as well too. He excels his hand-to-hand combat and can use anything random as a weapon to lethally dispatch his foes until he met a woman, got married, had a kid, and got fat. Sakamoto would later take on a no-killing rule in honor of his wife, and he started a convenience store where he would take in other assassins and unsavory, shady characters who prescribed to his no-killing rule and become part of his team, all of them working to stop the wicked actions of X's organization and the JAA. Scissor 7 was originally part of the experiment to create the perfect assassin. He became a member of the Shadow Killers at age 15, which is like the highest organization of assassins in the country, and at 16 he went on to gain the Thousand Demon Dagger, which is like a super powerful sword which essentially allowed him to become the greatest assassin in the country. And at 17, he would go on to assassinate the King of Stan, which is the rival nation of John Woo, and they're like a super technical organization. So it's like the Mars. I might be saying the name wrong. John Woo, however you say it. My bad, I'm saying that wrong. Stan is like a super technical country, right? So, and John Woo is like the martial arts country. So him assassinating the king of that nation is pretty impressive. And when he was 18 and 19, he would start rebelling against the leader of John Woo and questioning their tactics and methods. This would cause him to be seen as a threat to the nation, and he was put in a scenario that would make him a target of every assassin in the nation. He'd be put in those extremely difficult battles and still fighting through those relentless sieges. Okay, so with their backgrounds explained, let's talk about their turning points. So the turning points for Sakamoto, right? Sakamoto's turning point was meeting his wife and dating her. She got tired of Sakamoto's nonchalant attitude towards life, and she wanted to show him the value of life by throwing herself off of a balcony.
Mary Jane!
Yeah. She wanted to show him what it was like to lose someone that was important to them. And then he would go on to save her, and she would make him promise to never take a life again and dedicate his life to helping others so that he could make it for the lives that he had taken, and that he would retire from the order so he could eventually be with her and keep her happy. We've seen in this series also that he has like this comical fear of her and upsetting her, especially when it comes to this promise he made and their dates and just important dates within the family as well too. Side note, I've heard some people say that Kobeni and Sakamoto's wife look similar. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And then moving on to 7, right? So 7 would do similar tasks, right? After waking up and working as a hairstylist, he would just take on assassin missions as well too, but he could not go through with killing these people and would actually just end up helping them each episode. And it's like a typical cartoon format where like each episode is like its own self-contained story. And you think these characters are just one-off characters, but they're usually brought back after being introduced and become actually important to the plot and become reoccurring characters. Like you can see them in future episodes or just in background scenes or just in general. There's a lot of new characters that are actually important to the plot and they become recurring characters. Like one of the examples, right? There's this basketball short-wearing character, right? And his whole gimmick is his assassin has one trick. He has a blade, but the blade contains a bullet. So he fights basically just trying to get that bullet out and beating somebody. But by beating 7, he gains confidence to get a haircut to go talk to the girl he likes. And later we see this character actually have a moment where he fights single-handedly against one of the 7 shadow assassins, who are the strongest assassins in the entire nation of John Woo. And as more people from his past come to the island to seek him out and take him out, that's when 7 decides to go to John Woo to understand his past and try to stop the people who are after him. And we see that he arrives there. He's hunted relentlessly by the people, by the assassins. And this is just a fraction of what he had to deal with previously. So now that we have their turning points defined, we need to understand how the respective series handles redemption. So Sakamoto works at a convenience store and he's encountered by Shin, his old partner, who begs him to come back to the assassin world, even going so far as to try to take him out when he declines. This is because he was told by his boss to do so. If Sakamoto does not return to the world of assassins, right? So Sakamoto easily dispatches Shin and they takes care of him. Not like takes care of him, but like offers him a meal and a bed. Shin goes back to the people who hired him and is attacked by them. And right while he's about to be taken out, he's saved by Sakamoto. And Sakamoto later offers him a job at the convenience store. And Sakamoto has several rules that his team must abide by. And he's quick to help others, even when there's no gain for himself, right? Such as when he helped out Lu when she was being chased, and when he later got caught up into her triad business, he offers her a spot at the convenience store as well, too. He offers wisdom to people who are his enemies and provides an opportunity to change for any who are seeking it, right? Recognize that the past can be confining, but it's not final. He takes the promise he made to his wife to heart and imparts this upon others who are also willing to join him in his endeavors to be better people. In a moment with Shin, we see him, after going through the internal struggle, being so ready to basically off somebody, he prevents Shin from making a bad decision and falling back down into the rabbit hole or to the trap that he was before, telling him that he can change from being the person that he was before. Sakamoto Days handles this theme of overcoming your past by passing lessons that he's learned on to those around him and helping them get over his traumas and pain, because Sakamoto had to get over that with the help of somebody else. So that's why Sakamoto is so willing to help other people, because it was his wife was the main reason, or really the only reason, that he changed who he was and moved on to live a more fulfilling life. And then for Scissor 7, right? 7 has his moment where he seeks to regain his memories and he has to confront his past self, as he fights the past version of himself, warning him about what he's going to see and reminding him of why he did this. However, the really important pivotal moment is when he meets the prophet of Jianwu, who reveals the full extent of his past to him. 7 was a good assassin. However, he began to question the assassinations he was doing and the point of them. And during this time, he would meet a woman who we only currently know as the girl in white that would end up being his downfall. He would fall in love with her, but it would later be revealed that she was an agent sent by the leader of Jianwu, as 7 had become too powerful and too much of a risk, and it caused him to be insecure. As he realized that he could not beat 7 through combat, he resorted to other tactics, and they set up a trap for 7 that was meant to either kill him or make him a target of every assassin in the land of Jianwu. Even after this, he would still prove to be an extremely formidable foe. The assassins were no match for him until the girl in white stabbed him, betraying him, and this caused him to fall to his seeming demise. The prophet assumed that when 7 found out his past, he would go into a murderous rage and take revenge on all the ones who had wronged him, and that would be a very difficult fight. However, 7, after finding out the truth, embraces his old self, understanding the pain he went through and kneels at his grave, realizing that he was given a fresh start at life, understanding that he is a new person now. And this shocks the prophet, right? Because 7 then offers the prophet a free meal if he ever comes to visit him, as the prophet has never left Jianwu and his whole life has been devoted to protecting the kingdom. 7 tells him that if you go out and see the rest of the world, you would gain new perspectives. And after the prophet leaves, smiling to himself after hearing this and saying that he'll probably take him up on that offer, 7 leaves his shadow assassin mark at his grave, where he was presumed dead, and Daibo asks him is he angry about what happened. And he tells him that he isn't, because he doesn't believe that what the prophet told was the full story, because the blade was coated in a poison that made him forget. So he thinks that this was on purpose so the woman would give him a new chance at life. And the whole time that season 5 is going on, there's this theme of a puzzle, because as 7 regains his memories, it's like he's putting back together a puzzle, and each memory is another piece of the puzzle regained. So we get this visual where 7 is talking to a little kid, and the kid explains to them how putting the pieces, even if it's technically correct, it can still look good. And 7 realizes that the pieces can be put together, even if it isn't what it was supposed to be. Because you can use something new, and even what you create that's new is still beautiful. Because it's showing that the past version of himself that he wants to get back is gone. But however, the new pieces that he's created can still be used to complete the puzzle, to complete who he is. And he uses the past experiences that he has to complete the puzzle that is his memories and to complete himself. Because so many people would perceive him and say like, oh, you're not as strong as you were before, or thinking that he's still the same person that he is before, but 7 has changed. That much is clear. He doesn't have to be that man from the past anymore. He has been given the opportunity to change as well. With all that said and all that explained, let's get into the conclusion. Sakamoto Days and Scissor 7 both explore the theme of overcoming one's past and moving forward. but how they approach that is very different, and I also really like it. While they share the similar premises, they ultimately change on how exactly they reached that conclusion and what they had to do to reach that conclusion. 7 was given a new chance at life through a betrayal, and the love was the source of the betrayal, when on the other hand, that love was the catalyst for a new life for Sakamoto. They take are distinct, and they showcase the unique strengths of the series while also some of the themes of the series overall. 7 and Sakamoto still continue to use the skills that they once used for harm to make the world a better place, choosing to redeem themselves through their actions. And personally, I'm a very huge Scissor 7 fan. I also really like Sakamoto Days. Ironically, I used to hate Sakamoto Days in the beginning, but they both have really good mixes of comedy, great action, and really compelling plots. But let me talk about Scissor 7 just for a little bit. This story is highly underrated. This anime is very underrated. The characters are fleshed out, well written, and I would say it's one of the most underrated animes of 2024 and just in general. It's also available on Netflix. With all that said, right, I just want to say I'm very excited for what's going to happen next in Scissor 7. And I thank you guys all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help my channel grow. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on Sakamoto Days and Scissor 7 in the comments below. Maybe you agree with me, maybe you disagree. But either way, thank you guys for watching and making it this far. And until next time, take care. Thank you.